Before we start proceedings, could I ask that you either switch off or put your mobile phones onto silent, please, so you don't disturb the speakers. Welcome, everybody, to the Birmingham and the ICC, and most importantly, welcome to the IBMS Congress 2013. Before we commence our plenary programme, I would just like to introduce you to my colleagues here on the stage. On the right-hand side, we have our President, Mr. Derek Bishop, who will formally open Congress and deliver the Albert Norman Lecture. Next to him is Mr. Robert Simpson, our Treasurer, and on the end, next to him, is Ms. Jill Rodney, our Chief Executive. The Albert Norman Address is important to us, not only because it traditionally marks the opening of the biggest biomedical science event of its kind, but also because it commemorates Albert Norman, one of the founding members of the Institute. Albert Norman was a driving force within this institute and was still a member of council at the time of his death in 1964. The officers and members of council unite in expressing their grateful thanks to him for his unique work in connection with the foundation, consolidation, and development of the early institute. It was said of him by his council that few men are as privileged as Albert Norman, who was able to see his life work come to such abundant fruition. His profession and the whole country owe him their gratitude. Please welcome Mr. Derek Bishop, the Institute's President, who will formally open Congress with the Albert Norman Address.
Ladies, gentlemen, and honoured guests, it's a great pleasure, an honour, and a great privilege to welcome you to the 2013 Congress of the Institute of Biomedical Science. I remember going to my first Congress and being in awe and inspired by the knowledge and commitment of every professional I met. Now, after more years than I care to remember, I stand here as your president and am once again inspired and humbled by the strength and expertise of my fellow members. When I look around this convention centre, I cannot tell you how proud I am to be a biomedical scientist, how proud I am to look out an audience of like-minded colleagues and friends, numbering thousands, attending like the most successful medical laboratory congress in the world. Before we look to the future of our profession, I would like to take a moment to celebrate our past. Albert Norman, the man this lecture is named after, founded in 1912 what would become the Institute of Biomedical Science. Albert Norman began with a vision of an organisation that was run by its members, for the benefit of its members, for the advancement of biomedical science and better patient care. He and his fellow members would encounter huge challenges and dramatic changes through times of war and peace, boom and bust, and great advancements in science and technology. It was a great honour to go to Liverpool on our centenary anniversary and lay laurel leaves at the plaque commemorating the foundation of the Institute. Albert Norman understood that to survive and indeed thrive, the Institute would need to adapt and evolve to meet and rise above every challenge. These are the enduring qualities that saw us through then and will see us lead into the future, with our members, with you, at the heart of all that we do. During our centenary year, I had the great pleasure of travelling across the 4 nations of the UK, meeting many of our members and celebrating their fantastic achievements. Whether it was members at the Glasgow Science Centre, inspiring young people about science, with, among other things, pipe cleaners and Pritt stick, other glues are available, or celebrating the STEM Ambassador of the Year, from speaking at the Titanic Centre in Belfast, in Edinburgh, Liverpool, Manchester, and many other places around the UK and abroad. I was stunned by the enthusiasm of those who attended. I went to Cardiff on Easter week, and we had a full house for an evening meeting. I was not just there to present, but to listen. Our members continue to be an inspiration to me and embody the values of service and professionalism that would make our founders incredibly proud. I could not forget the sight of the Lord Mayor's parade in London, of a sea of blue IBMS umbrellas following the floats. Today, as a profession, we are facing many challenges, from service redesign to competitive service tendering, and the most challenging economic environment any of us is likely to experience with its resulting impact. The perfect storm of change will give rise to a very different professional landscape, which has created a great deal of uncertainty and perhaps inevitably has impacted on morale. Despite the scale of these changes, I am confident that we will weather the storm and emerge stronger and more relevant than ever to patient care. For we have a proud history of innovation and leading change. And with the support of the Institute, as the guardian of standards and advocate of the profession, we will continue to deliver. We are entering a new era of healthcare provision, where change will be the only constant. Undoubtedly, this will have a profound effect on many of us. As our working environments change, the technologies we use change, and the people we work alongside change too. But change has been a feature of our profession throughout our history, and the Institute has been a constant source of support for our members. We are proud that members turn to us for support and guidance in unsettling times. We will continue to do everything we can to support you through reorganisation and reform, providing services and guidance to carry you through uncertain times. Today, we can be proud that as the Institute moves into its second centenary, we are not just responding to changes around us, but we are working together to shape the future of our profession. We have much to celebrate regarding how far our profession has come and look forward to our future. We know we will face challenges, but together we are strong and confident. We are a profession that adapts and develops. We draw strength from our past and those who made us the profession we are. We celebrate our future and those will make us the profession of the 21st century. Together, we will stand the test of time. Here today, we consider how we will rise to these challenges and remain strong, a profession with a proud history, delivering quality and value and leading for the future. Today, pathology is the engine room of modern medicine, with over 150 million samples analysed by biomedical scientists every year, and 70% of all healthcare diagnoses based on laboratory test results. We are at the centre of patient care. Pathology is not just a test service, but an end-to-end clinical service. We need to work with commissioners and service users to ensure they understand that pathology is so much more than a test only. It's up to us to make sure that people understand the value of pathology in the long term and to shape high-quality, safe pathology services for the future. In today's environment of change and restructuring, it is essential that we retain our professionalism and our focus on quality. We know that developing pathology services has become shorthand for cost-cutting, but we also know there is always room for improvement. Improvement in the quality of the service, improvement in how, where, and when it is provided. And we know that by focusing on quality, by ensuring patients get the right test with the right result at the right time, we will not only benefit patients, but will reduce costs. High-quality healthcare saves money. Doing things right, doing things once, delivers results that saves lives and money. And so quality must remain at the heart of all that we do. Along with this focus on quality, communication is essential for service improvements. We need to communicate, learn from each other's experiences, and share best practice to ensure all our pathology services are fit today and fit for the future. The value of pathology cannot be measured solely by the cost, but by the valuable contribution you make as scientists to the health care and well-being of the public. Today, the Institute is rightly proud of its role as an education provider and the setter and guardian of quality standards for those working in biomedical science. We will set the professional standards and support you in achieving and exceeding them to be the best that you can be. And to be able to have that recognised through our qualifications, which have currency and value across the biomedical science landscape. The Institute is there to support you from cradle to grave, from undergraduates to doctorates, from support staff to consultant biomedical scientists. We are the professional body who put your interests first and foremost. Our lifetime commitment to our members means that we have a responsibility to nurture future generations of biomedical scientists And so, with our partners in higher education, we created an education and training pathway from scratch. We created an accredited and HCPC-approved degree program. We created one of the most successful science undergraduate programs, and to date, despite all the pressures in education funding, it continues to be oversubscribed. Over the next 5 years, we'll produce around 10,000 graduates ready to enrich the science sector workforce. Don't tell me that biomedical science is not flourishing. It is flourishing. It's out there, and we do well. Our accredited degree programs and top-up modules create a springboard for graduates to enter a vast range of employment opportunities, from research to science writing, from academia to laboratory equipment sales. It gives biomedical scientists skills that are transferable, skills that are highly valued by employers, and skills that are fit for future challenges. Within the physiological and physical sciences, I think they can only dream of a similar system, even so far into the MSc program. Many of us saw modernising scientific careers as a threat to our accredited programs, with its promise of funding and an inability to acknowledge what had worked well. It was blind to the value of growing your own and gaining laboratory experience in a flexible way that worked for students and employers alike. I can only tell you, after 2 years of practitioner training program, it is still struggling badly in the life sciences, while the biomedical science degree continues to be popular with HEIs, employers, students, and parents. Our profession is the only one in healthcare that has a pathway of professional qualifications, and in my view, they're here to stay. What does the future hold? It's a question I'm asked by many. There has to be rationalization. The market is confused and confusing to those seeking higher education in the biomedical science field. There's duplication of investment and the potential to halt progress in this sector. In my view, there is only room for one professionally-led degree course in a tight market. I think the professional values and systems we have should be supported, and our experience of what works built upon for all modernising scientific careers courses. I think we need and deserve a less prescriptive interpretation of subject areas and placements. We need graduates with the potential to become registered biomedical scientists, because that is what the public deserves for their protection. There is no statutory register for healthcare science practitioners. There are no plans for one. Can I emphasize one point? The biomedical science register is open and will remain so. If the MSc programs can meet the learning outcomes, then we will accredit them. Our role is to develop the next generation of biomedical scientists, but we will not compromise our standards. The Institute is there to support you, whatever your career grade, wherever you work, and whatever your ambition. Indeed, because of our commitment to this inclusive team-based approach, we launched a new support staff qualification, the IBMS Certificate of Achievement. We want to reward and recognise the professionalism across the whole pathology team. One of the things that sets biomedical sciences apart is the level of their professionalism and the way that is retained regardless of changes going on around us. What does professionalism mean to me? For me, it's our commitment that makes us who we are. It goes beyond the competency to practice. It's what I call the from the heart stuff. Every day I see the vast majority of labs provide a highly professional service. The challenge for me, as it was in the Francis and Keogh reports, is culture. The culture of the lab, the service, and the employer. I know many who go that extra mile and have a sense of reward in getting their contribution recognized, not by pay or benefit, but just a simple comment of praise or positivity. The thought that their team and manager will support them when they're going through difficult times, when you make a mistake or you take a risk, that you're supported in establishing the learning from the mistake, not vilified when the root cause of the problem may well be system-based. When services are stretched to breaking point, it's your professionalism that's holding our services together, and we should be justly proud of that. Professionalism is not something to be taught in an expensive management consultant-led course. It comes from within us all. Who gave me my biggest lessons in professionalism? It was from my fellow professionals, my mentors, my learning from others' experiences. It was getting out to clinics, meeting patients. It was my personal experience, both as a patient and a provider of the service that we deliver. While the Institute cannot teach professionalism, we can provide leadership, set standards, and give you the tools you need to excel as a professional. We will support you to be the very best you can be, and we will continue to respond to your professional needs through our qualifications and development opportunities. We are the only professional body with an HEI partnership to deliver a postgraduate qualification in quality management, a postgraduate certificate in leadership, and a postgraduate certificate in training. We are there for your professional development, supporting you to fulfill your professional potential and demonstrate your commitment to achieving the highest standards of practice. I have the privilege of travelling the country and meeting our members, from ambitious graduates to biomedical scientists at the peak of their profession. And what struck me most of all is the dedication of every single one of our members to providing the highest quality of care and service to the public. We, the IBMS, owe it to you, especially now when you're facing uncertainty and upheaval, to provide the leadership and guidance that you need to deliver the quality service that we all work so hard to provide. My work on the Pathology Quality Review Board has made me very much aware of the importance of providing leadership and professionalism and quality. The challenge around the end-to-end service provided within the patient pathway. Sir Bruce Keogh, the medical director of the NHS in England, wrote to me in January. His words on quality struck a deep chord, and I think as a profession, they're words we should take to heart. In his letter, he said, we need to set the bar at the highest level. It's what patients and the public need from us. Indeed, it's what you would expect from the Institute and what we will continue to provide. No one knows better than you the services that the Institute needs to provide to make sure that you can deliver a service that we can all be proud of now and in the future. And we are on our way. We undertook our first ever membership survey in 2011. We have listened to what you have told us and have made a number of improvements to our services over the past 2 years. You said that CPD was central to your practice and your professional development, and there was more that we could do to provide a quick and convenient way of recording your activities and credits. We have listened and invested in our CPD provision so that we can now offer document upload, coding designed to reflect HCPC CPD requirements, personal electronic portfolios, and simpler reflective statement submissions. We want to give you the tools to demonstrate your professionalism to colleagues, your regulator, and the public. We have listened to you and tried to implement what was there. The IBMS has become known as being at the forefront of innovation in CPD provision, responding to our members' changing needs, and we will stay there. You said you wanted the opportunity to practice at the very highest level of your expertise, whatever your role, whoever your employer. We have listened and further developed our education and qualification provision and continue to lobby at the highest level to ensure that biomedical scientists are working at the highest level of healthcare science, contributing to patient care, innovation, and academic science. I have lobbied the MSc team and the Academy for Healthcare Science on your behalf to ensure biomedical scientists retain their role at the forefront of innovation and quality service provision. We have worked closely with the Royal College of Pathologists to ensure there is a progressive HSST curriculum, and although we've accomplished a great deal, there's still much work to be done. However, I am confident that together we can achieve this. You said that we needed to be strong advocates on behalf of the profession. We have enhanced our work with policymakers and encouraged all of you to do the same. We published our first white paper. We developed strong relationships with our key stakeholders and influenced policy developments through participation in reviews, committees, and consultations. You said you wanted a greater voice in our advocacy work. We established an advocacy focus group to provide you with a platform to give your views on our advocacy activities and shape our advocacy planning for the future. You told us what's important to you: professional recognition, access to qualifications, improved services, and advocacy with policymakers, and we have responded. We won't stop there. We will continue to keep your needs and aspirations at the centre of all that we do. We will continue to listen, to act, and to respond to your changing needs. So what of the future? Well, if the past is any predictor of the future, we only need to look at the excellent work we have done, both as your professional body and in conjunction with the wider Pathology Alliance. The Royal College of Pathologists, the Association of Clinical Biochemistry and Laboratory Medicine, and others. We will continue to play a central role in the development and support of the profession. Look at laboratory tests online, an excellent advance for both the public and professionals. By working closely together, pathology professional bodies and their members have had a strong direct impact on patient care. Patients and your fellow professionals are now able to access the information they need to help them understand tests and results. The success of lab tests online shows that what we can achieve when we work together to innovate and drive forward the profession. This will have significant impact as we move towards transparency and direct patient access to laboratory results and reports. There will be a challenge in ensuring reports are understandable and that appropriate expertise is on hand to guide the public in what can be very complex outcomes. Our shared successes show just how important it is to work closely with our sister organisations now and in the future. We're a pathology team. I believe that. The best work I've ever done has been working with medical and clinical scientist staff on a shared vision for the service. Each of us has our own unique role, responsibilities, and expertise. Yet just as in the lab, we do our best work when we work together. We're all pulling together to ensure that pathology and laboratory medicine provides the best services possible. Post-Francis, we have worked closely with the Royal College of Pathologists to advocate on behalf of the profession. Together, we provided specialist skills needed to explain complex clinical, scientific, and technical information, underlying standards of care, and levels of risk to patients, to CQC investigators, and highlighted the essential role that we play in regulation and the scrutiny of pathology. We will continue to support you in providing safe, high-quality care in this changing environment. For me, both professionally and managerially, change has always been a necessary part of life. But successful change, in my experience, has always been incremental. Even when change has been triggered by a fantastic innovation, successful implementation takes preparation and time. For example, the current joint work with the Royal College of Pathologists on piloting interpretive histopathology for biomedical scientists. This will take time and would never have happened if our partnership had not been built on a solid ground of trust in developing tissue dissection. This is incremental change, and it takes time. It takes time to plan, it takes time to review, and it takes time to get it into a sustainable form. We have been preparing our organisation, our services, and our members to meet the challenges that changes to pathology will bring. We provide the training and qualifications you need to continue to be the best trained and most adaptable part of the pathology workforce. As your professional body, we owe it to you to equip you to not just survive, but to thrive through change. In fact, our future might be brighter than you might first think. An aging population, increasing demand, 24/7 services, the development of new services and specialties and advances in technology all bode well for the profession. Biomedical scientists have embraced technology and innovation, developing services in areas like molecular diagnostics and genomics across the UK. We are working with our sister organisations in genetics and embryology to share our learning and build for the future. Demand for convenient local services have led to rising demand for near-patient testing, with biomedical scientists playing a key role in training, delivery, assurance, and ownership. Although the drive for testing is towards large centralised systems with hub and spoke, I think this agenda of successful diagnostic centres local to populations will continue to influence the future. I see a future where pathology and those who practice it are at the heart of healthcare science services. I see a future where the Institute's role is needed more than ever. I see a future where pathology will continue to change, develop, and innovate. We have a proud professional history of continuous improvement and innovation, and we're ready to lead that change. From our 101-year-old history, we are Darwin-esque in our quality to adapt. My commitment to you is to champion, to lead, hopefully to inspire. My challenge to you is to do the same. We need to be the change we wish to see the world. Thank you.
It now gives me great pleasure to introduce you the first of this afternoon's plenary speakers, Jackie Linton, Lead Associate with NHS Improving Quality Delivery Team. Jackie is a leader of change with over 30 years' experience working across health and social care in strategic, operational and commissioner roles. As a commissioner, she was asked to lead the quality assurance review for the